It's Saturday, January 21st, and I have to begin with some very sad news to report. A young man, 14 years old, from Gordonsville, Tennessee, Smith County, recently took his life after being bullied because he's gay. Began getting reports about this last night. They've been confirmed by other sources since, and I have no doubt that it'll be hitting the news soon. I don't feel the need to reveal his name. I don't feel the need to reveal the method used. Those are all things that I have no doubt will be rehashed again and again. And some of it, I'm sure, taking the form of victim blaming. Why didn't he seek help? Why did he allow it to go on? Why didn't he tell anybody? I don't know whether he did tell anybody. To me, those things will get poured over by others. I don't see the need in doing that. Every situation is complicated. You can never really know what causes a young person to take his or her life. But the pattern we're seeing again and again, and unfortunately we're now seeing it in Middle Tennessee, is that gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender youth, or youth who are perceived to be, are bullied and take their lives. You know, it's hard to know how to react. You're very angry about these situations. You're also very sad and you want to cry. You want to reach out to the survivors. You want to demand justice. And I think all of those feelings are appropriate. The question, I think, is always, what can we do constructively together? I don't want to lay blame, but I do lay responsibility. It is always the responsibility of adults to intervene when a child is being called demeaning names, when a child is being subject to violence or threats. And in that regard, I think it's appropriate to look at the policies of our local school boards and the public policy of the state of Tennessee. There are very few school systems in Tennessee that include sexual orientation and gender identity in their non-discrimination, anti-harassment, and anti-bullying policies. As far as I know, and I'm glad to be corrected, Knox County and Metro Nashville are the only two systems that include both sexual orientation and gender identity. I believe Memphis schools have included sexual orientation. That's not nearly enough. We need more of our local school systems examining this. And the only way that's going to happen is if adults in those communities begin pushing those policies with their local school boards. The second piece involves public policy at the state level. As many of you know, we've seen a slew of hateful bills come out of the 107th General Assembly of the state of Tennessee. The Don't Say Gay bill, a perennial, is back again. We've also seen the License to Bully bill, which was filed last year but has gotten a lot of discussion this year. And of course, we've seen bills that don't necessarily have anything to do with the school system, although they would probably be applicable, but the Police the Potty bill, which targets transgender people. In some cases, these bills are directly about education. In other cases, they have an effect that is corrosive in our politics in Tennessee, and that corrosive effect does not shield itself from our youth. In some cases, the messages are subtle. The bill that was run last year that stripped cities and counties of the ability to upgrade their non-discrimination policies to include sexual orientation and gender identity perhaps sends a more subtle image to our youth. But a bill like the Police the Potty bill that attacks transgender people, and indeed the words used by the sponsor, Representative Richard Floyd, that he would like to stomp a mud hole in transgender people who might be using a fitting room or a bathroom near one of his loved ones, sends a very clear message about the worth of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people in this state. And that does have an effect upon youth. What's the solution? It would be nice if we had a holiday from these discriminatory bills in the legislature. But it would also be great if the bills were withdrawn altogether and instead we saw constructive legislation that began to deal with the problem of bullying as it exists. And that means inclusive, non-discrimination, anti-bullying, and anti-harassment policies that include sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. Why pick out these qualities? Because these qualities make up the patterns that appear again and again in the bullying statistics. It just seems like a sensible way forward. It is my hope that our General Assembly can find the courage to do the right thing and protect our youth. But until then, all of us at the local level in Tennessee can be working with our school boards to press for more inclusive, non-discrimination policies. And we can also do all we can to intervene in situations in which we know that a young person is experiencing harassment, demeaning name-calling, threats, and violence. I hope we can all be part of the solution. Thank you.